Little review this evening, and you'll know I'll be pleased when I tell you that this is a new brand. Always like to try out new things. So it's a beautiful pair of jeans, brilliant used wash, and we'll get onto that in a minute, from FOB Factory. So FOB Factory, Japanese brand, born in Okayama in 1995, so one of the longest standing brands that we're probably familiar with. Haven't tried them out before. Their sort of USP, what they're trying to do is recreate traditional cuts and sort of from vintage garments, from military garments, and maybe that's why I haven't tried them before. Quite often I'm drawn in by that sort of crazy slubby texture that you find in Oni, or the ultra heavyweight that you might find from someone like Ironheart. FOB are really focusing on the cuts, and this is a beautiful cut. This is their F160, so that's a 60s taper, so nice and roomy in the thighs, tapering from the knee to a fairly generous cuff. So the cuff comes in, by my measurements, at 7 3/4, so sort of on the higher end of cuff, if you know what I mean. So I normally like a more modern taper, but yeah, really, really beautiful, sort of heritage style, sort of what they're calling a 66 fit. So I'm imagining sort of taken direct from the 60s. One strange thing for these, and we'll talk about fit in a bit more detail, is the length of leg. So this is only a 30-inch inseam. That's the only option they come with, so you won't be hemming these unless you're particularly short. These actually, for me, measuring in at 29.5 inches. So maybe the washing process on these has sort of shrunk that a little bit. So you'll be going for a little bit of sock on these normally. That sort of Ivy League look, and certainly if you cuff them, which is what I'm choosing to do, you do show a nice bit of sock, which is kind of good for the warmer months. The fade, absolutely beautiful. So they've used a hand washing technique. As I said earlier, I haven't had any jeans like this in rotation since I began my selvage journey. Absolutely beautiful fades all across them, really, really tasteful, and we'll come in for some close-ups on those shortly. I did try out a similar style jean, so I think it was last year. It was the Oni 121, and that was a bio bleach. Really, really beautiful fades, you know, as good as this. Slight stretch denim, so slightly different, but the cut just wasn't for me. It was super tapered, super slim on the leg. I could barely fit in them. I did review them, I didn't keep them. I did get some slightly unfavourable comments, and that was really helpful, to be honest. You know, you're not really told something fits when it doesn't. But yeah, so those went back and my search continued. So I think my search for a washed jean is kind of come to a close now. These are absolutely fantastic. I've been enjoying wearing these a little, and I'll be enjoying wearing them through the rest of the year. So before we get on to the details and some close-ups, what I will just go through is the fit. So as I say, this is a retro taper, so tapering from the knee down, not sort of too tight on the cuff. So the measurements on these is 35 on the waist. It's quite interesting to note there. These are sizing a little bit small, so that was a 36 tab. 36 tag size, so 35 on the waist. The front rise is a sort of mid-rise, sort of kind of retro as well. 11 3/4 on the thigh, 13 at the knee, 12 inches down, 10 1/4. The cuff, as I said, 7 3/4. So really nice, roomy fit, nice and spacious on the thigh. Yeah, just kind of a nice casual look. Before we come in for some close-ups, we'll just do a quick fit check in the normal way. On the top, we've got a BENZAK heavyweight tee. I won't bore you any further with this, tell you about it every time. Absolutely fantastic t-shirts. On the legs, some olive Baker Pants from TCB, Two Cats brand. Fantastic, really, really nice fit, nice and spacious, cuffed at the bottom, good summer look. And on the waist, we've got a belt from a friend of mine. This was a natural Vegetown leather, wearing him really nicely, getting that nice patina. Quite a thin leather, but really, really comfortable. And I'm just sort of doing some beta testing on that. We'll post about this on Instagram when he goes into proper production, but really, really nice. Enjoyed trying it out. So the first thing we really need to look at on these F160s from FOB Factory is a fantastic job they've done of fading them. I've not had faded jeans for a long time, not since I've started out in the world of salvage denim, so over a decade. As I said earlier, I did try some out from Oni, absolutely failure, terrible cut, beautiful processing on them using eco bleach, really, really good, but not a cut that worked for me. Very, very slim in the leg. These, as we said earlier, take a very much more traditional cut. So you've got the gentle taper from the knee to a fairly generous cuff. So a cuff just shy of 8 inches. So normally I'd be going in for something around 7.5, maybe 7 inches. That's a modern taper. But these very much a classic look, Ivy League. Expect to see a bit of sock, but yeah, the fading on these absolutely beautiful. Not a lot on the websites around how they've actually achieved this. They talk around a sort of very much a hand processed finish, so lots of hand washing. I imagine sort of scrubbing with abrasive materials, but absolutely beautiful. Really nice gentle whiskers coming across the crotch, that sort of fading down the centre of the thigh, very authentic down to the knee, and then sort of tapering off again. Down the sides you've got this effect where you can see the selvage edge sort of shining through. Can't actually think of a proper term of that, but it's a kind of a laddering effect up the side. Lots of pops of the different yarn thicknesses in the warp and weft. On the cuffs, you've got some really, really good, authentic looking roping. So that comes about as the hem stitching tension varies as it's washed and worn. Really, really sort of exaggerated, pretty authentic looking, I think. Obviously you've got the beautiful white Japanese selvage, so this is a 13-ounce material. Absolutely beautiful job of those fades. On the back you've got some gentle honeycombs at the rear of the knee. That sits absolutely perfectly for me. Again, really, really authentic, not trying to overdo it. And on the seat, exactly what you'd expect to see from a very well worn pair of jeans. So lots of lovely texture and variation around the stitching on the pockets, where sort of the height points around the yoke. On the belt loops, absolutely fantastic attention to detail. If I was going to fault anything, maybe we could have gone for a little abrasive work, so actually sort of start popping those fibres. But yeah, very, very tasteful, very authentic looking, absolutely fantastic attention to detail. So turning your attention to the rest of the jean, what have we got? Well, we don't have any arcs or branding on the rear of the pocket, nice and simple. No lining on the pockets at all. You've got a very small FOB tab, that's pretty well worn. So a nice abrasive edge to that. You've got an old school paper patch, FOB Factory Denim Manufacturing Co. The rest of the information is pretty much illegible. Got a little bit of the information about the waist, almost legible. You can see the leg 30. As I say, mine coming slightly shy of that, 29.5. I imagine that's shrunk due to the processing. Yeah, around the back, very simple. At the front, you've got a traditional 5-pocket design as you'd expect. Again, lovely fading, nice deep spot of indigo at the bottom of the fly there. Just that random factor. It is a zip fly, so slightly unusual as well. Most Denim comes in with a button fly. Very nice copper rivets on the stress points at the front here, at the pockets. There are no rivets holding the rear pockets, but you do have a bar tack piece of stitching across the top there. Perfectly adequate. You've got a fifth pocket, as you'd expect, and again the selvage detail is mirrored there. Now, the one criticism I'll have of these, and it's one of my pet hates on jeans, and it's literally the only thing I don't love about these, the pocket bags are really, really shallow. You can see my hand barely goes in beyond the knuckle. If you've got a larger phone, something like an iPhone, it'll be poking out of there. Why some companies do that, not many do, but occasionally you do get it. Why you'd go for a shorter pocket bag, I really don't know, but they have here. Not to my liking particularly. But yeah, apart from that, absolutely fantastic jeans. Well, that pretty much brings us to the end of the review. If you've tried out FOB Factory before, please let me know what you think of the brand. Really impressed with these. Absolutely beautiful and tasteful wash on these. Going to enjoy these as we go into autumn. As I say, nice bit of cuffing, show a bit of sock. Really, really nice. Yeah, let me know your thoughts. If you've tried out their F160 cut or know anything about the brand, any views, please do share it. In terms of what's coming up, got a bit of catching up to do. Been a busy summer, so trying to be a bit productive in September. I've got this absolutely crazy denim jacket from Graph Zero, so kimono inspired. It has literally got all the textures, crazy pockets, so a poacher's pocket on the rear. Really, really interesting. Could be quite interesting to layer that with a hoodie, I think. And I think that's probably how I'm going to wear it going into autumn. But yeah, really, really crazy jacket. We've got a review of a work bag. So a lovely black leather sort of doctor's style bag with the hinged access there, or hinged top there, from Saddleback Leather. So that's coming up. And also a brand not yet with me, but very excited about it, Paraboot, the French boot maker. Absolutely beautiful retro moccasin style shoes. Got them in the post. Been looking forward to doing these for a long time. Wanted to feature the brand for ages, but I've just finally picked them up, so I'll be showing those. Okay, well that's about it. If you haven't seen my channel before, please do check out lots of quality footwear, denim, Japanese brands, American heritage brands, all sorts of stuff. Please do check it out. If you found it useful, thumbs up. Of course, subscribe, and I'll see you for the next video. Okay? Thank you very much. Bye-bye.